First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my dad that he doesn't get to be grandfather after he bailed on me? Mom and Dad got married when she was pregnant with my older brother, and a couple years later, they had me. When I was 12 and my brother was 15, we found out that while my brother was Dad's biological child, I was not. Dad found this out around the same time as we did. Dad then immediately began the divorce process and told my brother that if he wanted to continue a relationship with him, he could, but I wasn't allowed. I did message Dad until he blocked me. My brother brought me to Dad's new place one time and Dad slammed the door when he saw me. Dad got back in touch when I was 16 and we talked. The talk didn't go well. He was insulting me, insulting to Mom, and unsympathetic to my point of view, which was basically that Mom messed up, but I didn't deserve to have the only father I'd ever known slam the door in my face. I didn't see him until 5 years later, when I was 21, and he showed up at my university graduation. I let him stay because my brother promised to keep him in check. He congratulated me and gave me a necklace he said he'd meant to give me on my 18th. That was his mother's. Dad's mom, my nan, passed away when I was 8, long before we found out, and we had a great relationship. So I accepted the necklace as a reminder of her, not of him. I'm now 23, and I've just had a baby. A boy. I posted a selfie back in March that showed I was pregnant, and a few people sent me baby things. I didn't ask for it. One thing that arrived was a blanket with a card congratulating me, and the card said, "Love Dad." He didn't reach out to me after this. I've been home from the hospital for a few months now, and I decided now was the time to post a birth announcement. Nothing major and no pictures, just a quick, "Pleased to report that baby was born on date with no issues, and we're both home safe and sound." Dad has now messaged me, saying he was upset that I didn't reach out to him personally to let him know he had a grandson. I responded that he doesn't have a grandson, because he doesn't have a daughter. He said that I'm his daughter, and I responded, "Until you walk out on us both. You know this kid isn't related to you either, right?" He then told me that he couldn't believe that I was acting so childish and cruel, and said that this has been hard for him too, and I should develop some empathy for him before hanging up. I vented to my brother about it, and he sided with Dad. He said I'm being unnecessarily harsh, especially with my final comment, and that it was hard for Dad too, and I need to get over myself, stop being petty, and pull my head out of my behind before hanging up. I'm not making any decisions off the consensus here, but I cannot see Dad's side here, and I have no one to talk to except for a 3-month-old, so if anyone can give me a little more perspective, I'd appreciate it. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Can we leave my mother out of this, please? Her and Dad's drama is only tangential to the actual conflict between me and Dad. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your dad needs to first acknowledge the damage it caused to 12 to 21-year-old you. Especially that 12-year-old little girl. My heart breaks. If he cannot acknowledge that, he doesn't begin to deserve your forgiveness. Exactly. Not the a-hole. You were still a child. It was fine for your brother because he didn't disown him. Your brother has no right to say stuff like that to you when he had a completely different experience. He lost the privilege of being a granddad when he shut the door in your face. Not the a-hole. In order for him to make amends, he would have to own up to what he did to a child, offer an apology, and if you accept it, then maybe he could try and have a grandfatherly place in the child's life. Your brother got to be the golden child, and you were scapegoated. He has no points of reference on how you feel, and his opinion is baseless. You're protecting your child from going through the same hurt you did. Good on you, OP. Not the a-hole. I feel like the brother and father have probably had long conversations about this, but have never included OP in them and just decided to not acknowledge any wrongdoing on the father's part. How childish. Not the a-hole. This guy sucks, and you are absolutely valid not letting him in your life. He wants the fun parts of having a grandchild without having to admit he did anything wrong in the past. Screw him, and congrats on your baby. Not the a-hole. Your dad left you when you were 12. Up until then, he was your dad. I know it must have hurt him to know your mom cheated on him, but none of that is your fault or responsibility. He gave up any rights to you or your family when he left. You have every right to lay the boundaries that you need to be happy. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for being done with my daughters? I am a 52-year-old male. I got my ex-wife Maggie pregnant when we were in our last year of college. We were both from conservative families, so we got married. From our marriage, I gained 2 daughters, Jenny, age 30, and Cassie, age 27. My wife and I were not a great couple. We married way too young and grew apart. She became more religious as we got older, and I became less religious. She also was always angry at me for something or the other. My political beliefs shifted to be more liberal, and my wife became more conservative. We did our best to not fight in front of the kids, but our arguments were loud and could be heard through the walls. 12 years ago, I found out Maggie was having an affair. Jenny was 17 and going to college soon, while Cassie was still in high school. Maggie's family had set up a trust fund for the girls' education, and Maggie and I kept separate finances, so the money part of the divorce was easy. Custody of Cassie was a fight, and my ex-wife claimed I was abusive. Because our fights were noisy, the girls believed her, and over the next year, they cut me off. My attorney told me that because of the girls' ages, the courts wouldn't force visitation. I kept the lines of communication open, but they cut me out of their lives. I was heartbroken. I sank into a depression. Over time, I rationalized that the girls were adults and that I had done my duty to them. My sister has a relationship with them, and through her, I have learned that both of them got married and that Jessica had 2 children. I've heard that their relationship is strained with their mother as she hated their husbands and refused to attend Cassie's wedding. The girls both want to try to reconcile with me. I think that they've realized that I wasn't the villain that my ex-wife painted me to be. I'm done though. Losing them was incredibly painful. I hurt for a long time, and missing their weddings and the birth of my grandchild. Since my divorce, I have refused to get too close to anyone new, and I don't want to rely on anyone. I'm not on social media, and I screen my calls on my personal phone. The girls have tried to call, but I've blocked their numbers. I use email strictly for professional reasons, and I don't do Facebook. My sister is giving me a hard time for not wanting to reconnect because she says that the girls were kids and didn't know what my ex was like. I don't think I have it in me to let anyone in again. Now for the top comments. No a-holes here. I don't have it in me to call you an a-hole. You are deeply hurt, and as a result, are extremely leery and cautious of forming new relationships. The fact that after this much time, you won't form new relationships, though, is concerning. This isn't a healthy attitude, and you really need to consider therapy. As for your girls, I do agree with your sister. They were kids and didn't understand the ramifications of their actions, particularly the 14-year-old, and didn't truly know what was going on. They likely felt forced to choose sides, and sadly, they chose wrong. But that's not their fault either. They're as much victims of your ex as you are. That being said, barring truly horrific actions, you don't get to be done with your children. That's not how parenting works. And your girls haven't done anything truly horrific. You're blaming them for your ex's actions. I do think you should try to re-establish a relationship with your girls. I would go slowly. More importantly though, I think you need to get some help to deal with what has happened and how it has affected you and your ability to create relationships. I agree that no a-holes here. But one thing, you say that it isn't possible to be done with your children, which is true, but didn't his daughters already decide to be done with Opie over some lies? Isn't that the whole reason Opie isn't being receptive now, is because they've been done with him? And as far as he's concerned, they've made their decision and they don't get to change their minds? No a-holes here, but I think you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. You're choosing at the stage to hold on to hurt feelings, understandably hurt, instead of embracing what might be a wonderful relationship with your daughters and grandchildren. Don't do this to yourself. Your girls were teenagers when this all went down, and were probably confused and hurting. You now have the chance to start again and get to know the adults that they have become. No a-holes here, and I absolutely agree that now you have a chance to rebuild your relationship with the girls who probably realized their mistakes and want to have you in their adult life. I was estranged from my dad for 20 years. He was the first to reach out, and we started our relationship up like we never had been apart. 5 years later, he died. What I wouldn't give to have those 20 years he and I wasted back. Sorry to hear this. Glad you at least got a little time with him before he passed. Now for the last story. Biological mother of my adopted baby wants back into her and our lives. Backstory. A little over a year ago, my best friend passed away after being in a car accident. Shortly after his passing, we discovered that the woman he was casually-ish seeing was pregnant. The woman, being at the start of her career and decently young, had no interest/desire to be a parent. Given the fact that she didn't believe in termination, her words not mine, adoption was the only option. I understood and respected that, until I discovered that she had no desire to put any effort towards finding a suitable family. She was planning on just handing her over to the system and let them figure it out. I couldn't in good conscience allow an innocent baby be handed over to a horrible system, especially not the baby my best friend dreamt about having for as long as I can remember. All he wanted was to be a dad. So I decided to foster the baby and find a suitable adoptive family myself. Towards the end of her pregnancy, at this point the paperwork was drafted but not signed. The biological mother changed her mind and decided that she would keep the baby. I respected this decision and said that given the fact that her dad, my best friend, couldn't be around, I would gladly step up and help where needed. Fast forward to the baby being born, she was born healthy. Everything was great. On day 4, the biological mother called me asking if I could mind the baby for a couple of hours so she could catch up on some sleep. Having had kids myself, I understood that she was having a rough time, and happily obliged. She left the little girl at my house with enough formula for 1 bottle and roughly 3 diapers, and a couple of hours turned into a couple of days. I was relentless in trying to reach her, but no one knew where she was, so eventually I got police involved. They tracked her down, at which point she agreed to sign her daughter over to me. After a couple of weeks, I realized that I could never hand this little girl over to another family and graduated from foster mom to adopted mom. After a hassle with judges, lawyers, social services, and a notary, she was officially my daughter. Very recently, the biological mother contacted me, asking me to be involved in my daughter's life on a regular basis. Now, I'm unsure on what to do. Given how she acted during her pregnancy, not caring about where she ended up, and how she acted abandoning her like that, I don't believe she would be the most stable person in her life, let alone be a positive addition. That leaves me to incline to decline this request. I am conflicted, and this is why. Who am I to refuse a biological mother access to her child? Would I be harming my daughter by declining her biomom access? Before adopting, I told myself that when my daughter is old enough to want to meet her biomom and decide she wants to do so, I would do anything in my power to make that happen. But it's not like I can discuss this with my daughter right now. But above is directly countered by the fact that I am, in every way but the biological way, her mother. My daughter isn't lacking or wanting for a family. She has one. I am also very doubtful of the fact that her biomom is here to stay or will add to her life in any way. When I ask her as to why she's contacting me now, almost a year later, she said because it's my kid and I get to decide whatever I want whenever I want. On top of that, she threatened to have the adoption annulled if I didn't oblige. Obviously, legally speaking, she doesn't have a leg to stand on. So, do I allow her biological mom regular visitation so they can bond as the baby grows up, assuming the biomom keeps showing up, or do I stick to my original plan and let my daughter decide on when/how/if she wants to meet her biological mother when she is ready? Personally, I would rather ban this woman from our lives, but this is all about what is best for my baby. So how do I do right by my daughter? Edit. I feel like I should add that an attorney has been contacted and has assured me that she doesn't have a leg to stand on, that everything is up to my discretion and short of me being mistreating/neglecting, nothing can change that. Edit 2. I clarified the steps that were taken to officially adopt my daughter a little as it was causing confusion. No, you absolutely do not let her near that kid. Even under normal circumstances, it would be questionable. But she's threatening you and telling you that she will exercise power that she doesn't even have. You need to show her that you are in complete control of this situation, and that any contact she has with the child will be because you are willing to allow it. Until she understands the reality of who is in charge here, she gets nothing. And under no circumstances should you feel obligated to be cordial with her. Those are some really good points. Thank you. I do feel the need to add that I wouldn't ever let any potential visits happen unsupervised. Thank you for responding. I think you have very valid concerns about the stability this woman has in her life right now. She clearly doesn't know what she wants in regards to the pregnancy and birthed child. I think it's the right choice to not let her into your lives at this moment. However, I would be very open with your child about everything as she's growing up. Make sure she knows it's always her decision if/when she would like to meet her, once she is old enough to have an opinion on it. That is, I wouldn't wait until she is a teen to have the talk, but a literal baby cannot make any decisions. It's very important to me she knows all about what a great man her father was. So growing up, she'll hear all about how she ended up being a part of my family, in age-appropriate terms obviously. Don't do it. She's flaked on your daughter already. She's shown who she is. Believe her. Your daughter doesn't need to wonder why her mom bounces in and out of her life. Wait till she's 18. Oh, I am her mom. She is just a... That is a very good point, and thank you for your advice. I appreciate it. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.